Good morning out there, everyone in Giant Land. This is Tim, your Giant Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Of course, we have the guest today, the one, the only, Baby Creed. Big salute to Carl Weathers, who passed away just a couple days ago. Everyone knows him as Apollo, of course, and he's done other roles, which may have been lesser known. Like I said, I remember first seeing him Force 10 from Navarone. And then going into a couple of the other movies that he did, and of course you got the iconic role at Rocky, and then one of my favorite films, which I actually had to watch last night, was if you like the black exploitation genre, especially in the mid 80s. I think it was 88. You got to watch Action Jackson. I mean that's just the film. Action Jackson is just a film, man. You got Craig T. Nelson from Coach as the bad guy, as the karate bad guy. In the reference to the bad cinema genre for action movies in the 80s, that's number one, man. Action Jackson's number one. So we got to give the big salute out to Baby Creed. Baby Creed will no longer be coming on the show anymore. So, but it was just one of those things, man. That Carl Weathers, man, I was like, wow, I grew up in some ways watching Carl Weathers. And some of the movies, you think of Predator, of course, you think of Happy Gilmore. Like I said, Force 10 from Navarone. It was the first film I remember seeing him in. Even Hurricane Smith, which probably a lot of people haven't seen. So we're gonna go out to the big shout out to Carl, but we're here to talk Giants. We're gonna give him his due props and leave him off to the side, because we're gonna talk Giants now. But big shout out to Action Jackson, man. You got to remember Action Jackson, man. I mean, come on, that's one of the most iconic bad black exploitation 80s movies there ever was. I know you killed Tony. Don't be a chicken shit, man. Come and get me. And then he jumps over the hood of the car. I mean, come on. He jumps over the hood of the speeding cab. The fuck, man? I mean, you just leave it at that. I mean, and then he smashes the windshield with the fist, as he's driving the cab, the guy's shooting. He's got the 9mm. He's shooting up through the thing. And plus, there were so many guys in that movie from all the other movies that he's done. You got almost the entire ensemble from Predators in there. I mean, you got everybody. But let's get away from Carl Weathers right now. We can talk about Creed. We can talk about Baby Creed later. We got to talk about the New York Football Giants. We got to talk about the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl to me has always been, fun fact, Carl Weathers actually played in the, good point, Greg. He played 2 seasons for the Oakland Raiders, and he also played in the CFL. A little known fact. Let's say good morning to the chat first. Hit that chat button as soon as you hit the like. There's my brother walking into the club. Oh, what a happy Black History Month. Remember, Black history is American history. We got the Ohio. What's up, Tim? Just wondering if you have any thoughts on Spencer Rattler and your thoughts on him. We're going to do a video on Spencer Rattler tomorrow. He did participate in the Senior Bowl. To me, the Senior Bowl is garbage. They got these weird ass rules. There's no continuity on the offense. The national team beat the American team 16-7. Rattler, he had a inauspicious start. He threw an interception in his first pass of the week leading up to the Senior Bowl. He did throw a nice pass. I think it was like a 30-yard pass to the kid from Georgia, which gave his team, I think it was the American team, a 7-0 lead. He played in 2 series. He went 4 for 4 for 65. He was named the team MVP. Bo Nix also had a touchdown drive to tie the game in that. But I think the biggest downfall of any quarterback there was gonna be Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman went 7 for 25 for 69 yards. Joe Milton just didn't seem to have any rhythm for his 9 for 13, but he really struggled. He didn't get really anything going. He took a really bad sack in his own territory on his first snap. He missed on a check down. He overthrew a guy in the end zone. But going back to your question about Spencer, you go back to what he was when he first came out. He had that they thought he was going to be this guy at Oklahoma that was going to win the Heisman after his sophomore season, but everything kind of collapsed. He had the suspension. There was some accusations about some grades and some other things going on with him. So he left, of course, Oklahoma, went over to South Carolina. He had that 2020 season where he was, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3,000 yards. I thought he was going to win the Heisman. And then in 2021, the wheels kind of fell off the bus and he transferred to the Gamecocks. Never really gained a complete footing back in with the Gamecocks. He's a guy that's an enigma. He's one of those guys that had a really good season. And then people thought, you know what, this was going to be the guy, this was going to be the guy of the future. This was good. This was going to be that guy that is going to be, something special because he's got honestly, he's got a great arm. He's got a great, plenty of velocity. He's kind of got the Dan Marino flick of the wrist. But he just didn't pan out. And it's one of those things that you have to look at. Was it the situation in Oklahoma? But he's got another chance, of course, in with the Gamecocks. He's very inconsistent when it comes to his if you take a look at his decision-making processes, it kind of worries me because it kind of looks Daniel Jones-esque at times because he has a very hard time making decisions. And another thing that's Daniel Jones, there's two things in my mind that are Daniel Jones-esque. He doesn't throw people open. Rattler does. He has bad anticipation with his throws. He really does. Terrible anticipation. He just doesn't seem to have, and this was always one of the biggest things they talked about him. He doesn't have the football IQ. Now, I'm not saying he's not smart because you can not have football IQ and still be smart, but he doesn't have the football IQ. That's been one of his biggest things. And if you take a look at him in the pocket, great balls of fire. Pocket presence just isn't there. So you're looking at a quarterback who has problems making decisions, looking at a quarterback that has problems going through his reads, has limited football IQ, and does not have a very good pocket presence. Well, there's a quarterback somewhere around here that has all those faults and deficiencies that's been in the league for going on 6 years now. I don't know who that could be. Good morning, Big Chris. And again, of course, a salute to Carl Weathers. For those that missed, we had a little Carl Weathers homage this morning. We got Cody saying, what's going on? Go Giants. Davey says, Carl Weathers, last show I saw him on Mandalorian. He was also in the Mandalorian. Good movie. Action Jackson, man. That's the film. Everyone's going to remember him as Apollo Creed. I remember him as Jericho Jackson. So, fun fact, yep, he played, like I said, we talked about it. He played in the NFL for 2 years, and he also played in the CFL. Let's see here. Davey says, heard the Giants are looking for DC. Will they join? Dave, you have to be a DJ lover. This whole fiasco with the defensive coordinator situation. Joe Shane comes out in his press conference.
Yeah, we are going to have a defensive coordinator by the end of this week.
And then after Denard goes to Tennessee, takes the job, and a couple other people, he sits there and says,
there's really no timetable for when we need to have a defense coordinator. There's no timetable.
It's not what you said 3 days ago, Joe. It's not what you said. Timothy says, Carl Weathers, a.k.a. Apollo Creed, wouldn't touch Spencer Rattler with a 20-foot pole. I wouldn't touch Spencer Rattler with a 30-foot pole. That's just my thought. Thoughts on Jaden Daniels? I love Jaden Daniels. The only thing I don't love about him is he looks like a twig still. To me, he's got that 21st century talent, but the problem is he's kind of like a Kyler Murray, but with height. He has a deficiency when it comes to his physicality, but he has all the intangibles. He showed that. He showed the progression. Like I said, you saw him when he was in Arizona, all the way down to where he finished now. He showed a progression of moving forward. Another thing with Spencer Rattler, he's been in college since like 18. There are so many quarterbacks that are coming out I remember when Hendon Hooker came out last year, even vis-a-vis before the injury, everyone was down on him because he was too old. He had been in college too long. Okay, all these kids that are coming out, some of them have been in the league. Some of them have been in college as long as Daniel Jones has been in the league. They've been in school for 5 years. I mean, I like college, man, but I don't want to fucking stay 5 years. What's up, OGR Sports? Say good morning, Tim. Good morning, Chuck. Good morning, everyone that saw. James says, I wouldn't touch Spencer Rattler or JJ with Carl Weathers' fake hands from Happy Gilmore. Hey, good people. It's the T-Brad. Don't forget to hit the like button. Please do. Zach Attack says, I don't want Rattler. He reminds me of Josh Rosen. I don't think he reminds me of Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen coming out of UCLA had the prototypical quarterback. He was the pro, like we've said it before.
He can make all the throws on Sunday.
He had that about him. Spencer Rattler, man, he's kind of been not a basket case. I'm gonna say he's been a load of a head case. People forget he got suspended. People forget about some accusations, but we don't want to talk about that because they were accusations. Spencer Rattler isn't a number one quarterback. Was that on ESPN show? Tips Justin Fields and Jake Fromm was in that series. Oh yeah, that's right. They had that show. Spencer Rattler looks like 150 pounds soaking wet. He does. He is a small guy. He's another skinny guy. Tim, so did Brownie Nagel had flip of the arm wrist and nothing? Oh yeah. I'm just saying, listen, Brownie Nagel did have a nice oh God, the Jets Brownie Nagel did have the nice flick of the wrist. Rattler has the same thing. Rattler kind of reminds you with his motion, like I said, and the way he can get it out with such velocity from just a flick of the wrist. Like I said, it's a Dan Marino type motion. And some NFL scouts will drool over that because they're like, okay, he's going to be able to make the throws, anywhere on the field just by the flick of the wrist. But I don't see it. Same with Joe Milton. Joe Milton's another guy. Joe Milton's been I believe he's been in college since 18. You're seasoned. Everyone talks. I always talk about Kenny Pickett, who was a 5-year starter at Pitt. Yeah, that didn't work out too great. Mm-hmm. And Chris says, that's it. Let's draft Rattler. Guilty. So what's up, Guilty? If we went from DJ to Spencer Rattler, I might have to go on Suicide Watch. First of all, Suicide Watch is a little PSA. That is nothing to joke about. But yeah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. What's up, OG? Of course, OG Knockouts has the clubber lying on there. Chris says, what should happen was this: fire Dable, promote Wink. I'm not going to go that crazy yet. I'm not going that nutty yet. But I will say this. I mean, it's just weird that nobody of any has any cachet or validity wants to come to the New York Giants. You got people also like got Mike Vrabel out there still. You had Dan Quinn out there. Of course, you got the head coaching job. You have people out there that you could have brought in, but I don't think and we said this before in the video on Saturday. I don't think they want. I don't think Dable wants to be questioned. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't think Dable wants someone in there who is going to have a presence, kind of like what Wink did. But we said in the video, and you will respect my authority. You have to respect the authority of Wink. I mean, not Wink, of Dable. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to surround yourself with a bunch of yes men, you get a 6-win season. And you haven't been anything special since a 7-2 start 2 years ago. So we're doing something wrong. And we got to start doing something right. And listen, going internally for a candidate, oh God. Again, you talk about Henderson, you talk about Patterson, guys that have been in the league forever as position coaches who have never sniffed an opportunity to be a DC. They haven't even been an assistant defense coordinator. And you are going to have them be your DCs. I can't. We went through this with Kafka. We went through the hand-holding for 2 years with Kafka, and it just hasn't worked out. And I'm not saying going with an inexperienced candidate it's not going to work out, but you're the New York Football Giants. I always think of the song, the Super Bowl song from the 80s, which most people don't remember besides me. We are the Football Giants.
Some say we must be great. Pasadena is our business Super Bowl. We just can't wait.
We're not that. We don't have that anymore. Oh, what's Hung Dave said? We should be worried if they draft JJ McCarthy. If you take JJ McCarthy, like in the 4th round, if he's there, if you take him in the 4th round, I'm not have a problem taking JJ. I don't have a problem taking JJ McCarthy. I think JJ McCarthy has the physical skills, but he doesn't have the experience, and I don't think he's got the football IQ. And I love it because he only threw 659 passes in 3 years at Michigan. It's not what he was asked to do for Michigan. But if you want to bring him in as a project piece, as someone you can build up maybe down the road, I think he's got talent. I think I just don't know if it's NFL talent because I'm not even sure if he's 100% got the full talent in college. JC Smith, staying in college is easy when you're finally getting paid. Yeah, but they've been staying in college before they got paid. Like I said, these kids have been in there since 18 and 19. They didn't get paid till 2 years ago. Tim, what are your thoughts on the Giants not enamored with one of the top quarterback prospects? Oh my God, I saw this. Okay. I'm going to break this down slowly. For people. And I don't know where this rumor came from. I really don't know where this rumor came from, and I really don't care. I saw it on Twitter. It could be from a beat writer, it could be from an idiot content creator, but I'm gonna break it down slowly. We don't know. You don't know if they're not enamored with anyone. You don't know if they dislike somebody. You don't know if they love somebody. You want to know why? Because it's February 4th, and the Giants are not going to go out and tell you who we dislike. And if that's happening internally, then there is a leak. And if there's that bad of a leak within the organization, you got a problem. So wherever someone can put in the chat where that rumor came from, because I just saw it on Twitter. I'm not buying it. Sorry. No one is going to tell you about their draft board in February. That's like the one content creators that have John Mayer's golfing buddy who's giving them information. Like John Mayer is telling his golfing buddy shit. For the love of God, people, I'm not talking about you people because you people are smart, but for the love of the God, especially Twitter, just stop. Just stop. Which three wide receivers do you like? I don't want a wide receiver. I'm not even going to answer that question. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. Big O Gigantes in his house. Tim and Chad, did you hear from the story from Mr. Authentic? The real reason Mr. Wilson is never coming to the Giants is he wanted no part of being a one and done. Yikes. Again, I don't know if that's true. I'm not questioning Mr. Authentic. I'm not questioning his validity of his sources of his story, but I don't know if that's true because it hasn't been reported anyplace else. Great balls of fire. Damn, my boy Sam Hartman looked god awful. Sam Hartman should have came out of college and not hit the transfer portal and should not have gone to Notre Dame. He probably would have been in the lower half of the first round to the top half of the second round last year. But now if he's taken in the third, fourth, or even the sixth round, oh my God, he has looked terrible even at Notre Dame. JMS needs to be moved to guard because he can't play center, and while his skills fit more of a guard, and Neal needs a quarterback that can help and not holding on to the damn ball during taxes. JMS isn't big enough to play the guard position, and he's not strong enough to play guard. JMS is perfectly fine at center. JMS was a former wrestler. He's a wrestler. So he should understand the usage of leverage and how to use his body to help overcome some of his deficiencies that he has in reference to his physical skill sets. So I'm not going to give up on JMS. I'm not giving up on Evan Neal. And I love people that want to move him to guard. So you want to start the season probably with a rookie right tackle and a guard who is playing at a position who is a tackle. That's how you want to start on one side of your line with an undersized center, a blank at the right guard, and then Andrew Thomas. Okay. Greg says, my personal opinion is Penix is quarterback number 2. If he doesn't look past the medical powerful arm, doesn't turn the ball over him, my comparison is Tua with an arm. The smartest thing that Penix did was he competed all week. He was at all the practices, and then he just decided to opt out of the game because honestly, there was no win for him if he played in that game. There was no benefit to him playing in that game whatsoever. Showing up at the practice, meeting everyone, going through the skills, going through the practice routines, getting those conversations in. That made more sense. That was the smartest thing that he did was not participating. Well, I would say, how is your morning? My morning's good. My morning's good. I got myself a cup of coffee. I got some Black Rifle. I got my vitamins I got to take. I'm having a good morning. Let's say, hey, Tim, what's going on? Let's go. I like Spencer Rattler. He's down now, and he's going to come back. Kid, good move. Guys, well, no, he does not move well in the pocket. I got to disagree with you on that. His pocket presence, he may understand how to move and get out of the pocket, but his fluidity with inside the pocket is one of his biggest issues. That and having the inability to read certain defenses. And that was just in college. I mean, it could all change in the pros. Joe Rev says, Mara has made the G-Men a shit show worse than Jerry. Yeah, but Jerry at least makes the playoffs. I mean, that's the one thing. That's the one thing you can say about Jerry Jones.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, at least he makes the playoffs. We don't even make the playoffs. Joe Rev says, by the way, good morning, fellas. What's going, Joe Rev? How's you doing? Davey says, I guess no one wants to kiss the ring of his eminence, Brian Daboll. We're gonna get a DC with no experience. When Leslie Frazier took the assistant head coach job, we were done. We were done with probably someone that was going to have. And Leslie Frazier would not have ever questioned Brian Daboll. Would not have done anything that Wink did, which is fine, which is what he wants. And here's my thing with Daboll. If this is what Daboll wants, if he wants no one, don't forget to hit the like button. If he wants no one to question him, if he wants to be in total control of everything, I laughed. I saw on Twitter when someone was like, Daboll is going to call the offense and the defense. If he wants to do that, fine. As long as it works. You bring in a DC with no experience and it works, I'm fine. You bring in a DC with no experience and it fails miserably like Kafka, let's all be honest. Kafka should be fired. Kafka should be gone. Any other place, Kafka would have probably already been gone. But we're not going to do that because we're the Giants. We don't fire people. Chris says we still have Kafka, so let's scout Pop Warner for a DC. No one's coming here. It really does look like no one's coming here. Sam says JJ McCarthy is just Jake Fromm at his highest. No, McCarthy's got an arm. Does he have the arm with the best velocity? No, but he's got an arm. He's definitely got an arm. So I'm not gonna say that. T-Brad says the Giants have been laughing stock of the league now since we drafted Daniel Jones. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Giants love Senior Bowl warriors. They really do. And what's his name? So Rattler won. Oh God, that's right. Rattler won the MVP of the Senior Bowl. So we're drafting him. Problem solved. JJ is going to go to the Chargers. We're going to get the Duck. I saw that. And Saquon Barkley is going to go. Saquon Barkley is going to Chargers as well. He's going to be a San Diego Supercharger. OG says, I agree, Tim. I thought I would ask. Oh, that's okay. Dan Jeremiah was the source. He works for the Giant Media. Yeah, no, thank you, Zach. Nobody's. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait. What was that? Hold on. Wait, what? What? Okay, hold on, guys. Okay. All right. Oh, that was one of my sources. There's two quarterbacks the Giants like. That's why we call this the silly season. Which offensive free agent do you like? We did a whole video about that, and we did. I'm the only person in Giant YouTube that could do a video about free agents and who the Giants should who they should go after and get in trouble for doing the video. I love it. I was like, I just did a video, just people that should, who they should potentially look at. They were low cost, high. I thought they were low cost, high impact free agents. And people were like, and I got shit for it. I mean, I like John Simpson. I've already said it. The kid out of Clemson, 6'4", 330 pounds. Had some issues with Oakland. Started every game with Baltimore. He actually started every game with the Raiders 2 years ago and helped to get to the playoffs. So, I mean, I think he'd be a high value, low salary impact type player. Daryl says, "What's up, Daryl?" Jim Harbaugh said he said don't be surprised if JJ McCarthy is the first quarterback taken. Of course, he's going to say that. He just won a national championship with him. Guilty says we didn't want Denard Wilson either. I didn't want Denard Wilson. There were so many people, creaming after him. It was like disgusting. It's like he's been a defensive back coach. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that's all he's been. And you are literally going to turn over the keys to the defense to him. The defense in Tennessee is perfect for him because there's really right now with a rookie head coach, second-year quarterback in Will Levis, the lack of talent on the offensive line, lack of talent in the wide receiver positions. There's really going to be less of the expectations in Tennessee than he would have had in New York. I honestly personally think and plus the fact that, and again, the thing about this is the whole, and like I said, I'm not sitting there and telling you that it's not true about the rumor from Mr. Authentic that he had the offer, but he didn't want to be one and done situation. I'm not saying that's not true, but did we ever think of the fact that he's got a 5-year relationship? He's worked with Rand Carthen, who is the GM over at Tennessee for 5 years. They will work together for 5 years. I mean, that just throwing that out there. I mean, they have a working relationship together. Rand probably said to him, "Hey, listen, you know what? We're going to have you come in here and run my defense." And he was like, "All right. We've talked about it. We've talked about the buddyism before. Blake Parcells had his guys that he would bring in. Belichick's got his guys. You have coaches and general managers that have their guys. Dable brought in his guys. Arshange brought in his guys, and Dable brought in his guys. If they go for the linebacker coach from Buffalo, I quit. I literally fucking quit. I think Mr. Rogers will make an excellent defense coordinator for the Giants. He will mesh well with Davon, the friendly catch rusher. You might ask him, will you be my neighbor? OG says, I think we're getting Justin Fields from the Bears, drafting a wide receiver. Joe Shane and Brian Dable haven't had more than 3 years to turn this franchise around. This is it. This is coming. You are coming 0 hour right now with Shane and Dable. They're hitting 0 hour. You're in year 3. The year 1 draft is not looking that hot. You had some hits in year 2, but your foundation, your building blocks, your 20-something picks, or whatever it is, 19 picks over the last 2 years, maybe 3 guys. Your free agents have been terrible. Your trades outside of Bobby Okereke, and we've talked about the fact, can we just say one thing about Bobby Okereke? Can we just say one thing? Just want to bring up one thing. Bobby Okereke had an excellent season for the Giants. He also had an excellent season on a bad Indianapolis team last year. He made a lot of tackles. He made a lot of solo tackles, which I've always said to me, when you're making the solo tackles, you're leading the point of attack. But the one thing that nobody wants to talk about, the one thing nobody wants to address is his average yards per tackle is 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. That means he is making the play an average of 7 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Blake Martinez was like 4. Okay, we need to bring in some guys a little closer. And everyone talks about Patterson and what he did, Andre Patterson, what he did in Minnesota and what he's done for Dexter Lawrence. But if your starting linebacker, who had a very good season, is making tackles 7 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, where do you think the issue lies? I'm not blaming Bobby Okereke because he's making the tackles. I am blaming the fact that he is that he's making the tackles that far off the line, which means that's how far the running back is getting into the second level off the defensive line before he makes the tackle. Tim, did you see Jalen Hurts' precision passing at the Pro Bowl? The Pro Bowl means nothing. I did. It doesn't mean shit. I don't care. I've seen, what's funny? I've seen quarterbacks do skill competitions and they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And then I've seen people go into games and drop passes that you would just leave you awestruck. Kevin says, what's up, Tim? Why am I hearing the Giants are still going with Cat? Because that's what they're doing. Davis and Spencer Rattler likes, I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to
Move it.
oh, pretty girls all over the world. Sorry. Sorry. Brian Dable is acting like Belichick without the accolades. We said that the other day. He's kind of being Belichickian a little bit. But the problem is he hasn't won anything to be Belichickian. I've said this before. When Dable initially came on board, and during that streak, I said it in the videos that everything he's saying is kind of funny. Even though it's a flippant response and just one of those answers, it's funny. It's whimsical. And I said it's funny and whimsical until you start to lose. Then the media will turn on you. The fans will turn on you because it is now just coming off as truculent. It is now just coming off as you kind of being an a-hole. Now, Belichick could get away with that because he's got hands full of these, so he could do that. But when you start 7-2 and you really haven't won anything since, it comes off a little whiny. Greg says Kafka sucks. I don't know how he even got the job considering for head coach because he was a minority candidate. Oh, let's see here. I rewatched the videos. I'll rewatch the videos. Which videos? I'm sorry, I'm a little behind on the chat here. I'm always behind. Let's see here. Zach Attack said the Giants will draft a certain players of West Virginia and Steel. We're gonna have Zach Attack on in a little bit too to talk about a kid from West Virginia that is evidently is high on the Steelers board. Oh my god! But I do want to talk to him about that. Sam says no way Saquon Barkley goes Chargers. They're getting more cap held than what they were. Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can send Saquon can go to the Chargers and it won't affect our cap space. Won't affect our cap space whatsoever. It's potentially what they bring back could affect the cap space, but him going to the Chargers, them being traded to the Chargers doesn't affect our cap space. I would say Dom the Duck says, how many years do you think it'll take before the Giants make it back to the Super Bowl? 3,048. Have you seen Snoop Dogg's new football commercial called Underdogs? No, I really don't watch TV. So I watch sports and stuff, but I don't really watch TV. And the Dom's question. I mean, I said this before. I said this when Daniel Jones signed the contract. That when he signed this contract, everyone kept saying it's such a great deal. It's really only 3 years and out and this and this and this. And I kept saying, well, no, you gotta look at it from a long-term perspective. And I said that the day he signed it, if he flames out in 2023, you're gonna have to draft a quarterback in 2024. So the clock starts again. So that's year one. So he's stuck on the roster till 2024. At least, I'm really till 2025 because you're still going to own $22 million in 2025 and $11 million and $11 million in 2026. So you already have if you take a quarterback in year one, 2004, that's year one. You have to, DJ will probably start because of his contract. So your new quarterback's probably not going to get the full experience till year two. So you were already looking at 2025. So after 2025, you're going to hope you're going to have some more pieces. You're going to clear your salary cap. You're going to get the Jones contract off. So then you're looking at 2026. You're looking at least 2027 before you can potentially be consistently competitive again for the Giants. All off of what they gave Daniel Jones in 2023. Some people are like 4 years. I was 5 years. Like, no, it's going to be 4 years. The clock is 40 seconds to midnight. Tom says Bobby O sucks. No, Bobby O doesn't suck. And I think that's what I was trying to talk about. Bobby O does not suck. What the problem with Bobby O is, like I said, if you have 140 plus tackles and the average yards per tackle is 7, that means 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. That means that Andre Patterson's wonderful defensive line that everyone likes to rave about and how wonderful he is, especially R0B, is allowing the ball carrier to get into the second level before Okereke can go up and make the tackle. So Blake Martinez, I believe, was 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. His one good really year when he had 150 something tackles was like 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. So it was a 3 yard difference. So the offensive line, of course, I think Dalvin Tomlinson was still there as well, was better. Defensive line was better 3 years ago than it is now. And it's showing about where the linebackers are making the tackles. Chris says, don't think Shane will trade for Fields, will possibly draft the DJ lookalike. I would trade for Fields. If Fields is really up, I like R0B is more wrong than the weatherman. Hey, oh my goodness gracious. I would trade for Fields. I think you have 2 seconds. You can move some thirds. Even if I would give them maybe a third this year and a fifth next year for Fields, because he's got 1 year left, and then he's got the option. So you're gonna have him for at least 2 years. You could find out what he is with 2 years, and you can still have Daniel Jones on his roster, and it's not going to contractually hurt. And like I said, we talked about this before with the salary cap. I always tell people this: the easiest way to think of the salary cap, and I'm going to do it real quick, is looking at his buckets. Every position has a bucket. You have a quarterback bucket, you have running back bucket, you have this. So even though you have a quarterback that's no longer on your roster, let's say Daniel Jones is not on the roster in 2025, his $22 million still is. So that $22 million has to go towards the average quarterback salary bucket. So let's say you bring in a quarterback for $8 million. His salary is not really $8 million. The quarterback bucket is now $30 million. So let's say you bring in another guy for 10. So now your quarterback bucket is not 18, it's 40 because of the dead cap number. So then you have 40 million allocated for a quarterback when you're probably bringing in two, either journeyman or a journeyman and a rookie, because of the Daniel Jones contract. So if you brought in Justin Fields, even at the higher end of his 2025 salary, it would still be in the right percentage in the quarterback bucket. He can't fill the gaps consistently.
That's what she said.
No, he's right. I mean, Bobby O I'm fine with Bobby O. I'm just pointing out a fact. Let's see. OG says, you're 100% right, Tim. I try. Dom, you're tripping hard. We also have Greg says, let's hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, please do. We got, Mr. Irish the Rover is in his house. Mr. McCormick says, what's going on, Tim? Everything's going on. Mr. McCormick, everything's going good. The videos you made about free agency. Oh, yeah. Okay. I can, I made it last week. I was going to say something spectacular. I love it though. Zach Attack says R0B is more wrong than the weatherman. Davey says there are people who think JJ oh my God, I talked about this, that people are comparing JJ McCarthy to Tom Brady. Tom Brady did not have a stellar career at Michigan. The stats are similar. Yeah, but Brady had 90 stats compared to what we have in the 2023 seasons and 2022 seasons. They're not comparable. It's not even on the same level. I saw that and I nearly fell over. I talked about it in the video the other day. You can't compare one to the other. Tom Brady came out. Nobody wanted him. JJ McCarthy still has the cachet of at least winning a national championship. We just don't know what he is because he's only thrown 659 passes in college. We don't know what he is. T-Brad says we're basically getting ready to be the Washington or whatever's bottom feeders of the AFC East. Let's fire Joe Shane and Dable now and just let Mara run the team and coach it. Yeah. Who wins the Super Bowl? Well, I'm not a big fan of Kansas City because they're annoying me. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. I would trade for Fields. Also, I just don't think it will happen. I don't think it's going to happen either. I don't think it's going to happen whatsoever, to be honest. But I do think it would make sense. Again, if you want to fill that quarterback bucket with talent and salary up to a certain percentage, because you also should have a certain percentage of your quarterback equaling your team's value. And Daniel Jones is like 18% of the salary cap next year right now. It'll go down because we only have X amount of players on the contract. So it's going to go down. But he's still going to be anywhere between, say, probably like 14 to 15% of your salary cap. That's a lot. I'm kind of curious, can Fields make cookie as good as Warren? I'm kind of curious, can Fields make cookies? Oh, Fields cookies. I get it. Ba-dum-bum.
That's what she said.
Sorry. I got it now. It took me a minute. Brother T-Brad is right. We're about to be the least in the NFC East. Like and share. Says Kobe. Like and share. Chilling and listening. That's all you got to do, man. Zach is off topic, but Dan Quinn also got the blame for 28. Shao Callahan. Jonathan will get the most of the blame for the loss. I'm worried the commies will no longer be the two. I am worried that they are going to get. I think I like the way they went with general manager. I like the way with the coach. I'm worried they're going to get a quarterback. I'm concerned that they are going to get a quarterback, and then you're going to have Dak, you're going to have Hurts, you're going to have some guy in Washington, X we'll call him, and then you're going to have Daniel Jones. And I love it because for all the shit we give Jerry Jones a lot of shit because he's kind of an a-hole. But all the shit you give Jerry Jones, he literally came out and said, Dak can do better. Dak needs to do better. We got a quarterback that goes 1-4. Looked horrible. And our general manager and our coach sit there and say, well, when healthy, he's our starter. So Dak, who has definitely more flowers and accolades than Daniel Jones, more 4,000-yard passing seasons, more touchdowns, more yards, more playoff appearances. And people say, well, Daniel Jones has more playoff wins. Okay, great. Where do we go after Philadelphia? Nowhere. But he has all this around him, and he's coming up for a contract. And the owner of the team goes, he can do better. Why don't we ever say that about our guys? Is it a crime? Let's see. Tim, what are your thoughts on Christian Hayes, the Gauls out of UConn? I don't look at UConn guards only because we don't look at any other UConn guards only because of what happened with Matt from Connecticut. So we will never talk about UConn guards ever again on this show. Come on, Stanley. You should have known that. I hold on. I still have. Oh, here we go. We should have known that. Mr. Belford.
I'm Johnny Wishbone, psychic extraordinaire. If you need me, just think Johnny Wishbone and I come running. Lots and biddle. It's like kibbles and bits, but different. Excuse me. Sorry about you.
What's up, It's Johnny Wishbone. Not happy with the state of the New York Giants franchise. Did James Dolan listen, you cannot knock James Dolan. James Dolan going back to Phil Jackson turned over everything to Phil Jackson. And now he turned over everything to his new establishment as well. He stayed out. He has been stepped back at MSG in reference to basketball operations. It's just he's got to get out of MSG in reference to doing stupid things with players and other people. So former players, I should say. But I'm not going to compare. I have no problem. I have no faults with him, and I have no faults with James Dolan anymore. Maybe with the Rangers, but I got no fault with. He's really stepped away. He has truly stepped away from basketball operations. Danny Dudd says all the signs are pointing to DJ being the opening day starter. I don't know. We'll see. ACLs are a tricky thing. You never know. You feel good one day, and then you feel like crap the next. You feel like you have some mobility, and basically what the ACL does, which is your anterior cruciate ligament, it keeps your knee stable. So it keeps it going this way. It keeps it going from side to side. I'm the king of the ACL, so I know this. Because I always joke about the time that when I tore it the first time, it didn't swell up till the next day, and I could walk on it. I didn't think you could walk. This is back in the early 90s. I didn't think you could walk on an ACL, so I could walk on it. I'm like, I could play next week. I'll play next Saturday. It'll be fine. And then I was doing laundry, and I was living at this house with a bunch of other teammates, and the laundry room was downstairs. So I had my knee wrapped up, had the ice on it, and I'm walking down the steps, and I hit one step, and my knee just goes like this, and I just fall on the ground. And I'm laying there on the ground with laundry everywhere. And I'm looking at it going, well, this isn't good. Something's not right here because my leg just gave out for no apparent reason. So that's what the ACL does. So you can never tell with that injury. Mr. McCormick says, why is the NFL the only sport organized in which no one can recognize championships prior to specific dates in 1967 as if they don't exist and they don't count? I always say that about Giant fans, a certain segment of Giant fans. No one understands that Giant history did not start at 2007. It goes way back. It goes way back. Question. What's up, Big James? If the Giants draft a black quarterback and we're sitting with Daniel Jones, can we officially admit our team might be a little prejudiced? Again, there's the thing I said about this before. In some regards, the Giants have not had an opportunity to draft a quarterback for a while because you went from Phil Simms to Dave Brown, and then Ken Graham, Danny Kanell. So you had a little bit of a dearth there, but then you hit Kerry Collins. Then you had 1 year with Kurt Warner and Eli Manning, and then you had all these years with Eli Manning, and then you drafted Daniel Jones. So you really have, now we're in year 6 of Daniel Jones, so you really have like a 24-year period where the Giants weren't really drafting quarterbacks. But it would be, but going back prior to that, it is interesting the fact that the Giants are the only team in the Eastern Conference, even going back to when the Cardinals were in the conference, to never draft a black quarterback. Just, so Giants Danny does this. Has any quarterback gotten so many years and money to prove himself? No, we talked about this. I went back, unless you're looking at like the 80s, 70s, 80s, parts of the early 90s, quarterbacks, you would draft sometimes a quarterback in the first top 10, and they wouldn't see the field for like 4 years. But that's just the way you did it, because you didn't really have free agency till everything went on with Reggie White. And so guys didn't go anywhere. So you could draft a guy you could have a quarterback draft a guy in the first round, getting my vitamins, draft a guy in the first round and still have the opportunity to keep him on your roster because you knew he wasn't going to go anywhere, and you would have your quarterback of the future already on your roster. Gee, that's great. The Giants are going to suck again this year, guys. So get ready. I'm ready. Johnny ABA says, I don't understand why this organization protects Daniel Jones like they do. It's maddening. It truly is maddening. It truly is. And I'm not saying that from a perspective of Daniel Jones in general. I'm just saying the perspective they protect a lot of players. They do protect Daniel Jones like now 3 regimes. That you have to have kit gloves on them. I don't understand why. How about the UConns and I'll talk about UConn guards and basketball all the time. Danny Dead says the ownership protects Daniel Jones like he was their pick. Blazin says ownership loves DJ because of his worship for Eli Manning. I don't know if that's true. I did the video the other day about the Giants in reference to the yes men, in reference to like Carl Banks, Phil Simms, Tiki Barber, Howard Cross, and how it might be better just once that these guys actually just told the truth. Tiki Barber told the truth, and he got crucified. Carl Banks will at times speak the truth during broadcasts, and then he will have to backtrack it after the show and be like, well, after the broadcast, after the play, and go, well, what I meant was, and there was basically there was one day, I forget which game it was, where he basically called out the team as a shit show. And then he was like, well, I didn't really mean it that way. This is what I meant to say. And Howard Cross is just terrible. I mean, he's not terrible. He just protects the team no matter what. Just ask James Williams. I hope we have a competent backup quarterback if Tyrod decides to hang it up or go to Washington. That would be our luck. Blazin says, good morning, Tim. What's going on? Have a blessed day, Kobe. Hey, you have a blessed day too, sir. Welcome to the chat. It was fun having you in there. T-Brad says, Daniel Jones starting week 1 means nothing. The Giants will start 0-1. Not hating. That's just Jones's track record. You're not hating. You're not hating whatsoever. Personally, Chris says, I think Mara cannot bring himself to have the face of the franchise being a black man. Just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, technically, the face of the franchise for the last couple of years has been Saquon Barkley. Lawrence Taylor technically was the face of the franchise, but that, of course, that was Wellington Mara. I don't know. I really don't know. The Giants established in 1925. That's 98 years old with one of the oldest teams in the NFL. 100% right. To me, it's all Mara. Same results year after year. I don't disagree. Stanley says, Tim, what are your thoughts on the potential LeBron James trade from the Lakers? Because I don't ever want to see the trade happen because I think LeBron is going to make the Knicks regress. He's not coming to the Knicks. His salary alone precludes him from coming to the Knicks. So you're going to have to trade like Randall and other players. I don't see it. Let's see here. What is Blazins? This is here. Daniel Jones turns a corner and has a breakthrough year.
That's what she said.
Oh my God. We have been waiting for him to turn the corner now for how long now? How long have we been waiting for him to turn the corner? I found the smooth sounds of Kenny G sound effect. How about that? Oh my God. Great balls of fire. James is hiding in the Bills man cave. James is in the man cave. What do we got here? I think DJ is a Manning on the low, or just me is Manning on the low. You mean so he's actually Eli Manning? I think they both. I don't know. Did anyone see Spencer Rattler at the Senior Bowl? Yeah, we talked about him. 4 for 4. He looked good. He had that nice touchdown pass in the end zone. I still don't see it. For all the things that we and Blazing, you missed the beginning. We talked about Spencer Rattler about an hour ago. It's just one of those things. I mean, he's had trouble. He's been in college since 19. after that sophomore season, people thought he was going to be in control for Heisman. He had his issues, and he transferred out. He didn't really have great stellar seasons the last 2 years. I mean, he's an old, like I said, people blasted Hendon Hooker, but you got all these guys that are just the same age as Hendon Hooker coming out now. And like I said, Joe Milton's been in college since 18. Some people don't have underwear that old. T-Rat says Daniel Jones is Donald Trump. He won't go away. Anything he does wrong, his fans justify it. I'm tired of Jones. I'm tired of being nice about it. When were you nice about it, T-Brad? When were you nice about it? Mara will hold on to DJ until Archie Manning. I said that as well. Blazin says it's going to be 6 years, over half a decade. It's time. Let's see. Gary says the day the Get On Bum picked Jones at number 6 was the day he signed our death certificate. No, our death certificate got signed the day we re-signed Daniel Jones. There was so much talk throughout the league that he wouldn't even get $8 million like Mitchell Trubisky wanted. And the Giants gave him 160. Same thing with Paris Campbell. I thought Paris Campbell was going to be a player. I thought Paris Campbell, if he could stay healthy, would have been a nice component for this team. We signed him at a good contract for the 1-year deal. And then Paris Campbell comes out and says, nobody wanted me. He literally came out and said, I took the Giant contract because they were the only ones who give me a deal this large. So I took this offer. Sometimes we bet against ourselves. Don't forget to hit the like button. I don't know how many likes do we have? I don't even know how many likes we have. I'm supposed to check these like things. We have 34 likes, 108 people. If I'm doing the math, 108 and 34 likes, that we should have 490 likes. What the hell, guys? James Williams, all is well, and Steeler country is a lot different from they want change because it's the same stuff every year. He's a brother from another mother. Eli. That's pretty funny. Irish Server says, who in the right mind would believe that Jones will be ready for opening day? That's why Shane would say, because Shane doesn't want anyone to know what he's doing. That's like the Giant beat reporter coming out and saying, well, there's a quarterback that the Giants don't like. There's a high-profile quarterback the Giants don't like. First of all, I would question that because they like Daniel Jones. So I would automatically question their thought process and their ability to evaluate talent. Second of all, there is so much smoke being blown up people's asses before the draft that you have no clue who they like, who they don't like, who they're going to take. No one's going to say anything unless you know John Mara's golfing buddy.
That's what she said.
Oh, OG says, it's funny how Evan Ingram doesn't suck anymore. Evan Ingram last year had the second most catches by a tight end in a single season in NFL history. And he had a Pro Bowl season the year before that with Jacksonville. All of a sudden, he's all better. Oh my God. Senior Bowl is a joke. They has a Senior Bowl MVP. Do anything in the league. Have fun facts. We have Davis Love, Kyle Lowe, Daniel Jones all won the Senior Bowl MVP. That's not a fun fact because the Giants always take the MVP. Senior Bowl is weird. You don't get the ball at certain times. You get the things with the 2-minute drills. The Senior Bowl is just weird. The only thing I like about the Senior Bowl is the senior week leading up to the Senior Bowl. And even that is just a glorified. I love it because you had I'm not trying to pick on anyone, but I guess I am. I saw on Twitter that it got passed around. I guess there's a giant YouTube channel was at the event asking questions, and they asked Bo Nix a question. And the question basically, was it was a question that everyone put out there saying, see that Bo Nix doesn't. Bo Nix asked for him to ask the question again because his processing and reasoning skills aren't that great. I went back and listened to the question. I was like, it's a bad fucking question. It's a very confusing question. It wasn't, and it was basically a yes. You basically gave him it was almost a yes or no question. It wasn't a good question. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to defend Bo Nix, but I heard the question. I would add and repeat it for myself too, because it's like you're trying to sound professional and you're trying to sound like you have all this knowledge, and you asked a really bad question. I shouldn't say it was a bad question. It was not phrased properly. Go watch my Daniel Jones question. That's how you act. That's how you get up in front of people in the middle of in the middle of a team event and ask a question. That's how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. South Central does it like nobody does. Johnny ABA said it used to be the best job in football was the backup quarterback for Manning. Now it's just being DJ. Yeah, you gotta love when I mean for the years that Eli was here, man. David Derek Carr. No, David Carr. David Carr was like, I'm gonna be the backup. Sure, I'm never gonna fucking play. Stanley says, hey, Tim, I understand why NFL teams would rather hire a young, upcoming, inexperienced coach with no winning record compared to hiring a Super Bowl winning head coach in Belichick, because Belichick is going to want total control. Belichick is not going to want a GM. Belichick is like Parcells always says, he wants to do the shopping and the cooking. And Belichick is going to be one of those things. I understand it. I get it, especially for an owner, because you're kind of like the Mariners. You're going to lose your cachet. You're going to lose your control if you hire someone like Belichick, because who the hell is going to want to talk to you? They're going to want to talk to the Bella God. They're not going to want to talk to you. So I can understand that. The math ain't mathing. I know that's why it was a joke. Can't we even address can we even get a defensive coordinator? No, because Joe Shane said
we will have a defensive coordinator by the end of this week.
And then someone went to Tennessee, and then all of a sudden there's
really no time frame for us having a defensive coordinator. We're going to get the right candidate.
Oh my God. You were spot on. Drafting Jones was a risk, but re-signing was stupid. Although we saw how bad he was, but Mara was the one that made the call. No one can convince me. I believe Mara made the call too. And like I said, drafting Jones was a risk. That's a great way to put it. Drafting Jones was a risk. 1,000%. But if the risk paid off, it had a high probability then of paying off and making you look good. But going back 4 years later and doubling down on the same mistake with now a 4-year resume of work, body of work, and you look at this and go, we'll just give him 160. 90 of it will be guaranteed. We'll only wreck the team for 4 years after this contract. We'll be fine. Baker Mayfield wants $40 million. And I laugh at this. Baker Mayfield wants $40 million. And if I'm Baker Mayfield and I take it, and Baker Mayfield also is the one that, kind of chastised Jones a little bit. Baker Mayfield has 130 touchdowns, 20,000 yards. He does have 74 interceptions. He's got a 4,000-yard season. He's got 3 seasons of 20-plus touchdowns in a row. He has never thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. And he's taken his team. He's taken 2 teams to the playoffs. If you compare him to Daniel Jones and his body of work and his resume, Baker Mayfield is worth $497 million a year. And that's why every quarterback that gets a new contract in 2024 should turn around and give 5% to Daniel Jones. Because it was the Giants' stupidity of doubling down on their idiocy that have caused to basically turn the quarterback market up on its head. Joe Shane says, Daryl, use the Kenny G model with the Daniel Jones contract. They were looking at it and says, you know what? This is what they were doing in the office.
Bringing you the smooth sounds of Kenny G.
We should really sign Daniel Jones
$72 million
to this type of contract.
As you can plainly see.
I got so much shit when the day after they signed the contract, I made that sound effect. I got so much shit for it. The day after he signed, that was the sound effect I made. We debuted that. the day after it was signed. What does Davey says? I think John Mayer is clean up betting against the Giants in secret. I hope not. Tags attention. RZRB says that West Virginia wide receivers, please tell Rob, watch the games in person, then get back to me. Poor Rob's not here to defend himself. Let's see. I'm not going to get into the Trump things. Come on, guys. Let's get off the Trump shit. I just love this. Trump managed to get a wild mob to attack his own capital while the Jones. You know what's funny? I'm just going to say one thing about this because I was all up on the January 6th conspiracy things and the attack on the Capitol and all this and everything that the Democrats put out and everything, all the splices and videos and snippets that they put out. You're like, yeah, this looks really bad. And then you actually watched, I forget who it was, they petitioned and they got the actual security footage of what happened inside the Capitol. Now, these insurrectionists were the nicest insurrectionists I've ever seen. They were actually walking between the velvet ropes with the Capitol Police surrounding them. That was the nicest insurrection that I've ever seen. I mean, like I said, I used to be the same way, James, until you actually watch the videos. And there's hours of tapes. You can watch hours of it. There's nothing going on. They're walking. And then the guy, what's his name? Aeon or Kaon, whatever his name is. The guy they arrested, then they finally released and let go after they charged him with him. Because he went running around the Capitol being crazy. The video shows the Capitol Police actually was escorting him through the building and trying to get him into the Congress. They show him the one door locked and the Capitol Police going, come on. They went around to another door and got him in. T-Rad says everything only plays good because of the offensive line. That's true. Zacatech says it was a gotcha type question he was trying to do. Oh, I don't remember who it was, Zach. Who was the one that asked that stupid question? Because it was so poorly worded, the question. I mean, it's so god-awfully worded. I even, when Bo next was like, can you repeat it again? I was like, yeah, I probably would ask the same question because I'm not 100% sure exactly what you're asking. Mr. Alvarez. Hey, Tim, what's good DC are even left out there for the Giants to try to hire? The Belichick. Honestly, like I said, you're going to go with an internal candidate or you're going to go with the guy from, like I said, there's a linebacker coach out of Buffalo they're probably looking at. There's a guy over in Kansas City. I would not be shocked if they went with Henderson. I would not be shocked at whatsoever. I'd be more disappointed, but I would not be shocked. If Vrabel didn't get a job, Vrabel, there are some rumors, there's some speculation, there's some things that are not being talked about Vrabel in Tennessee that I find concerning. And I know some people that are in the Tennessee area, and there has been some rumblings about Vrabel, about not only some things that he wanted in the franchise, but some of the things that he did internally in the franchise that could cause you a moment of pause. But if you're bringing him in like a defensive coordinator position, I think someone like Vrabel would be great. But I don't. Again, like I said, we have our old buddy, and you will respect my authority. Dable saying, no, I don't need anyone that's going to show me up and make me look bad. I really don't think Dable wanted Jones to resign. Mara owns it. Agree with T-Brad. Mr. Robert says taking a risk is what a weak quarterback class. This is a great point. Someone emailed me yesterday, and I'm not going to say their name because I don't know if they want me to say their name, but it was a great email. They emailed me yesterday and asked me specifically and more concise question than the Bo Nix question. Why do you want a quarterback so badly in this draft? And they went through and they listed a whole bunch of things. And I basically just came back with a sentence, tell me who you want in 2025, 2026. If you don't take a quarterback this year, which some people are considering, the 2004 quarterback drafts, the 83 of quarterback drafts, if you don't take a quarterback this year, who do you want in 2025, 2026? Because then you're just pushing everything. You're pushing your second internal rebuild back another 2 seasons. Craig says, could Pat survive this offensive line? Only quarterback that would survive behind this line is Lamar Jackson. But how did they win 5 games then, Craig? I'm just asking you, Craig. How did the Giants then turn around and win 5 games with the likes of Danny DeVito and Tyrod Taylor? With the same offensive line, with the same personnel, with the same wide receivers, same talent. How did Tyrod Taylor almost throw for 3,000 yards in 2 consecutive games? He actually had the 3,000 yards and he went backwards. But how did they do that in 2 consecutive games with the same offensive line? How did, I believe there was 2 games or 1 game under, or 2 games, I think, under Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito where they had no sacks. Tim says the consensus is that scouts are predicting the Giants are going to take Malik Neighbors with the number 6 picks of the NFL draft. Yeah, you're probably 11 a.m. time for, we're going to get to you in a minute, Zag Attack. We're going to get to you in a minute. I got to try to catch up on the chat a little bit. We're going to have the Zag Attack on in a minute here. I want to talk about a kid from West Virginia really quick. In a way, Dang says, in a way, I'm happy Mara is paying for his mistakes with DJ contract from his pocket. He needs to learn not to meddle. Here's the problem I have with that. Mara's also effing with my money. I'm a season ticket holder. You're screwing with my cash. Like I said, I am still debating whether I want to renew for next year. I still have a debate on that. OG says we did everything to screw up the kid, which is what Mara said. We all know it's him. Daniel Jones doesn't put fear into 31 other NFL teams. I agree. Let's see. Creams Lewis says, why are you blaming Joe Schoen for Daniel Jones? We all know Mara's making decisions because Joe Schoen's the general manager. Brian Dable's the general manager. You know, during the interview process, if that is conclusive with what is being said, that Mara is pulling the strings with Daniel Jones. You know, during the interview process for both Schoen and Dable, Mara then would have told both of them, listen, Daniel Jones is your quarterback. Do you have a problem with that? And if that was actually said and they said no, and they took the job, then it's their own damn fault. Let's see here. Blazin says, you know, Tish is a Hollywood movie producer. What is Mara's outside business? I don't know. The Giants. Mara is gratifying when Daniel Jones won that playoff game. He came out and he said, Daniel Jones is our guy. Look at this. Yeah, it didn't work out too well. Jose Gigante. What's up, El Gigante? Mara will keep Shane and Dable as scapegoats because the next regime, it will take a vicious cycle. We're already in a vicious cycle. Big Blue in the Bronx. I don't remember what my question was, but it was Big Blue in the Bronx. Johnny Rico. 3 quarterbacks off the board. Who is Tim's pick at 6? I've already said this. I got 3 quarterbacks off the board. I'm trading down. I am trading down, and I'm going to take the kid. I'm going to take the kid out of. I'm going to take the wide receiver out of Florida State. What's his name? I'm going to take Coleman. Keenan Coleman. I'm taking Coleman. I'm trading back. And I'm trading back to probably no more than 13 to 16. I'm trading back. I'm grabbing Coleman. I'm trading back up into the first round, and I'm grabbing Penix. So I do think Penix is going to fall. And then I'm going to take Penix. And this way, I'm going to have my 6'4" starting wide receiver, and I'm going to have my starting quarterback. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, Johnny Rigo. I have to go watch Starship Troopers now. Remember the report that said assistants are telling potential coaches to stay away? It looks like they are taking their advice. You got to go back to the judge era when you had players that just retired. We're retiring. And people were like, well, there's nothing wrong here. I remember doing a video going, you got all these guys retiring. And Kelvin Benjamin was the one that everyone was like, well, he's just fat and out of shape. No, you got some problems there when you had other people after him just quitting. Coming to the Giants for like a day, like, nope, don't want to be here. Sometimes when there's smoke, there is fire. Tim, I'm not excited about Jerome Henderson. Jerome Henderson's 54 years old. He's never been more than a defensive back coach. He's bounced around to like 6 teams. People will say, well, you got to give him a shot, but he's never even been like an assistant defensive coordinator. He's never been a defensive coordinator in college. I don't think he's ever been a defensive coordinator in high school. And we're going to go with Kafka again? I don't know, man. Remember that ownership came in the 11th hour to get a deal done with DJ. Also, DJ called Mara at one point. I know that is a story. I don't know if that's true. Let's see. You never know. That probably was. Would a second for a field be worth it if it's? Oh, I would take. I've already said I got 2 seconds. If they only want a second round pick for Justin Fields, I'd give you a second round pick for Justin Fields. Hell yeah. Wouldn't even think twice about it. Because Big Pat will say I'm race baiting because I want a black quarterback. I just want a quarterback that wins. And if you watch Justin Fields the last couple years, he's progressed. And he had better stats in 2022 than Daniel Jones did combined, Justin Fields did, with Justin Fields, Alex Leatherwood was his starting left tackle at one point. He had no wide receivers, no running game, no offensive line. And he still rushed for over 1,000 yards and threw for more touchdowns than Daniel Jones did. There is something there. I like neighbors. Won't you be my neighbor? I would like it just so I can just do that. Here's the consensus. We're gonna suck. Tim, don't renew. This team is not worth it. Season ticket holders are the backbone of this team. Without them, we are strapped for cash. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the like. Let's see here. The only way to send a message to ownership is not to buy merchandise and tickets. Oh, I agree with that. 42 likes. That's not good. We had 120 people in here, and only 42 people are liking. That makes me sad. Just joking. Likes don't affect my life, but that's okay. Big Blue in the Bronx asked a stupid question. Oh, thank you. Tim, you're hired. Wow, okay. Broader Narrow, what's going on? I like Coleman. His blocking effort is poor, and I don't think he gets separation. Go Gators. You're a Gator. I was like, you're a Gator guy. You're a Gator grad. You can't judge a Florida State guy. That's like if I asked you, what did you think of Charlie Ward? He's no Danny Warfel. That's what you get. Johnny Rico says, I like that. Penix is going to be a great quarterback in the NFL. Starship Troopers is classic. All right, I'm going to hold on. Where are you at? Zach Attack, I'm going to drop the link in the chat real quick. So Zach Attack, why don't you jump on? Because I want to talk about this kid, this offensive lineman from West Virginia. We're going to get an inside preview of an offensive lineman for West Virginia from the Zach Attack. So make sure, Zach, there you go. There's the chat. Let's see. T-Brad says, I live in Eagle Country. When you re-signed Daniel Jones, Eagle fans celebrated. That's 100. Oh, God. I live in the heart of Eagle Country. T-Brad, you know, T-Brad, James knows where I live in the heart of Eagle Country. There's Eagle fans everywhere and me and a Jet fan across the street. And it's funny because on game day, you hear when something's good is happening because the whole neighborhood just erupts. Oh my God, they didn't just celebrate. They were sitting there, again, they were sitting there dancing in the street, going, hey, 2 more wins. We're going to give Zach Tech a moment to get himself ready. Blazin says, I'm going to bed for a year. Wake me up before you go. Zach Tech, get yourself situated here. I see you moving around. This is how we do it. Tim Stanley says, I think Malik Neighbors will fit the Giants scheme better than Keenan Coleman. Coleman's a big target. I think he can get separation. I think he is a guy that the Giants have been lacking in reference to a size wide receiver with speed. And I think that he is a guy that can bully the corners. And I kind of think that's where we're going to go with that. Zach Attack, if you're ready, nod. Now, if you're ready, put your right foot in, put your left foot out. Shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey, and that's what we're all about. We have the Zach Attack coming in all the way from West Virginia. Going to give us a little insight information on an offensive lineman that the Steelers could potentially be drooling over. The Giants should take a look at. With that build-up, Zach Attack, who is this guy in West Virginia?
The center from West Virginia is Zach Frazier.
All right, well, tell us a little bit about Zach Frazier.
So Zach Frazier is coming out as a junior from West Virginia. He from the COVID year, he was the academic all Big 12 trouble rookie team. Started 9 out of 10 games at left guard. Did it ESPN True Freshman All-American. All 12 Big Conference honorable mention. started acting 630 offensive plays, including 50 more plays in 8 games. 2021 earned All-American second team honors, all 13 games on center, academic All Big 12 first team, All Big 12 conference second team, All Big 12 conference fourth team, started 13 actions, started acting on 895 offensive snaps, including a season high 90 against Texas. In 2022, again, All Big 12 conference first team, earned All Big 12 conference first team honors, All Big 12 conference second team, started all 12 games of center, WV offensive line in the game. So each year he progressed, he got better and better.
Well, first of all, one of the things I will say, being an academic All-American, that is that is impressive on its own. Because I don't think a lot of people understand the qualifications to become an academic All-American. People always joke, because I always joke and tell people, Tim's smart, Tim play football. But I was never an academic All-American, but because I was never an All-American, but I was an academic scholar in reference to when I was in college playing. And it's not an easy thing to achieve. So it shows that he's got the intelligence reference to not just on the football field, and the fact that it seems that his performance has progressed. He's played a lot of center. Do you see any regards to maybe him coming into the league, or is there any talk of him coming into the league and maybe potentially playing in the guard position?
Right now, from the Steelers, they're saying that he can possibly be like a guard if one of the guards go down, because they have a decent center right now.
Right. I was thinking, Steelers have a center. That's why I was curious.
But they don't like him that much. They see him as like an upgrade, basically.
Or he would be an upgrade over their current center right now.
Yes.
So he's coming out a year early. He's got a year of eligibility. What I haven't really looked at him on the board much. Where is he ranking currently in reference to offensive linemen, or where is he ranking currently in reference to centers, or do they have him even listed at the guard position?
Let me check this.
Nobody's buying. I'm going to go through some of these while you're checking. No one's buying Daniel Jones jersey, says Danny Duds. Curry. We also have Mr. Lowe saying, I like your draft picks, is on point. Charlie Ward was the best quarterback in New York City when he played guard for the Knicks. He definitely was. Irish Rodriguez, West by God, Virginia. Juan says, John Mayer Jones is Mayer's wonder boy. This is the worst David Brown, Danny Cannell era ever.
Okay, got it.
All right. So what are they saying about that?
Number 2 center and the 63rd offensive player.
Number 2. So he is currently ranked the number 2 center coming out of the draft.
Yes.
Or in the draft. Do you know if he's scheduled? I mean, I assume he's scheduled. He is going to be at the combine.
Yes. The one concern that people have this year, he broke his fibula.
That's a big concern.
Yes. But what they're saying now, he's going to do at the combine. He practiced the Senior Bowl, and all sounds like he's back to being Zach Frazier, his healthy self.
Did he play in the Senior Bowl?
He's not clear if
he's not clear, but he was. But did he go through any of the drills at the Senior Bowl?
Yes, he did.
So he did participate in some of the drills. So when did he crack his fibula?
The 23rd of November.
23rd of November. So he's only 3 months removed from the break. So I mean, do you know if it was a clean break or a fracture?
It was a hairline fracture.
Oh, it was a hairline fracture. Okay. That's I was just hoping that it wasn't like a clean fracture, a clean break, because then he would at least be a year. Hairline fracture. Yeah, he could be ready for the combine with no issues whatsoever.
It's more precautionary type thing.
I think it is more of a precautionary measure. Like I said, I like what Penix did in the Senior Bowl. He participated in all the drills and just opted out of the game. So like I said, I have no problem with that, because that helps your draft stock a little bit. Where does the Zach Attack think that he is going to get? Where do you think, what round is he going to get drafted in? And who do you think is going to be the best fit outside of the Steelers for his services?
The best fits will probably be the Giants, possibly the Ravens if you want a different
Well,
center.
the Ravens have Linderbaum.
But I'm saying the style of it's similar.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the Raiders.
Raiders, I could see. What is the blocking scheme over in West Virginia?
It's similar to. It's a zone blocking scheme.
Oh, so it is a zone blocking scheme.
Yes.
So he would fit more into he's going to be probably more acclimated to a zone blocking style offensive line. So he would probably have to go. Well, I don't know if he's going to be. We don't know what the offensive line we're going to run. We don't know what Carmen and what Kafka and Dable are going to run right now in reference to the blocking scheme. Is there any other guys on West Virginia that are coming out right now?
The corner of West Virginia.
And who is this corner?
His name is Campbell. He's a press man in zone. He can play both aspects of the corner. He's like more of a ball hawking type of corner.
What's his? Do you know what his size? How big he is?
Let me check. I'm very prepared.
I was going to say, Zach, you're on my level right now. You're on my level of non-preparedness.
He's 5'11".
He is 5'11", so he's another small. Here's the question: is he college 5'11", or is he real life 5'11"?
He's real life 5'11" because West Virginia have him listed as 6'1". So
okay, so he's real life 5'11", because like I said, there is always the college 6'1", which is normally equates to 5'11". So like I said, Kyler Murray was 6'3" in college. You know, of course, they had him standing on a bunch of phone books.
Yes, that's what she said.
But okay, so we got this kid coming out. So is there any other kids coming out? In the ACC that we need to take a look at?
You mean Big 12?
Oh, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting where West Virginia is. I know where West Virginia is.
Yes, by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly. I know where it is. I was just at Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. I almost had to call Zach Attack to come pick us up off the side of the road.
Because you're driving in the snow.
I was driving in a snowstorm.
Why are you driving in a snowstorm anyway?
Because I'm stupid. I may have been an athletic player, an athletic and academic player. I never said I was smart. I had to get the dog, man. You'll figure this out when you have kids. Yeah. When your kids want the dog, you got to go get the dog. No matter, and plus you drive a Jeep, and we were fine. We not really, but it's a long ass ride from where I live. All right. So, is there anyone else in the conference that we should keep an eye on?
Right now, everyone I want to keep an eye on now because they went back to school.
Okay. So there's no one right now at this moment that we really need to take a look at.
No, everyone else is probably like ruining is around 5 through 7 pick and develop. So if you want to map Connecticut, do that. If you don't do it.
Okay. All right. Well, Zach, I appreciate you dropping on. I'm actually got to check out early today. So I appreciate you dropping on. It's always a pleasure coming in with the inside information. Make sure you're going to be around. Hopefully you're going to be around on Tuesday when R0B is on. So
yes, I will.
You better be, man, because I need you. I need you. So just to antagonize Mr. Rob.
Because it's funny when he kept arguing with me about Bryce Horgan. I watched him. I know what he's going to do.
I know, but that's Rob. We love Rob, but that's just Rob. That's just Rob.
It's just more fun to mess with him.
It's more fun to be here as always. And Zach Attack, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming in, dropping. I want to drop someone else real quick. That is the Zach Attack coming in. We got another guy coming in real quick as well. We're coming in like gangbusters because we're reaching the witching hour. We are reaching the bewitching hour. So we got James Williams coming in strong, coming in hot, coming in with the beard. I can't take the beard, man.
We got like another month of it before I cut it.
I can't take the beard.
One more month.
One more month. All right, I'm gonna call your girl and just let her know, man. I'm not digging the beard.
she told me that I gotta. This is the most non-manly thing I'm gonna say while I'm here, y'all. So excuse this. I have to exfoliate my beard. Shut up.
All I'm gonna say, and just don't take this the wrong way, you are the Black Grizzly Adams.
I'll take that.
Wearing the Satchel Paige shirt.
That's right.
One of the greatest pitchers for the Kansas City Chiefs that no one is ever talking about. One of the players that came in at 40-something years old to win. I believe he won the Rookie of the Year in the Major League Baseball.
Yes.
No one talks.
40-something years old.
No one talks about the Page. So what are we up to, James? What is our thought process today? I know you dropping in always means you have to drop in for something. There's got to be a reason.
No, I just like to say hello to my brother and all my brothers out there in the chat. What's up, y'all? Hit that like button. Hope everybody's doing well.
You know who we need to come in here?
Cool. Oh, Smooth Sounds. Where's he at?
We need the smooth sounds of the T-Brad. The voice of reason.
The voice of reason.
That's who we need. Because we know when the T-Brad is here, things seem to appear. So please, T-Brad, if you're out there.
That is funny.
Oh my God. Let me run through some of these real quick here. Davey says, my kids in school were cheering how awesome Dave Brown was. I felt like I was the only one who thought he sucked. Why are you stupid in this one? It's something in the water. T-Rad says, I just looked at a talkathon. They have him ranked at 69th player, so that's pretty damn good. That'd be the center out of West Virginia. David Deal says David Deal was worse than Justin Pugh. Whoever said that, did someone say that?
What?
I don't know if someone actually said that. There are still people blaming the offensive line for Daniel Jones sucking remarkable. James, this is a question. Maybe you need to hit the like too. This is the question I have for you.
Yes, sir.
You win 5. You what? We went like 5-5 with Daniel Jones' replacement and
with
Tyrod Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the offensive line didn't change. The wide receivers didn't change. The tight ends didn't change. And we went 1-4 with Daniel Jones. And people are still saying that it's everything else but the quarterback.
Yeah, we're in that weird political stage of the Giants fandom where we're not going to say what it really is. We're going to say all these other things that just don't make any sense, which is really weird. It's really weird out here. My best thing to that is just that the first game, we won a playoff game.
Yep.
Yes, we had smacked by the Eagles, but the Eagles are a much better team, went to the Super Bowl, whatever. But we won a playoff game where he actually looked good. I have to say. I watched that game. Word. Like in that game, Minnesota, he looked good. Like I was sitting there with my boy. I was waiting for the shoe to drop, and it never did. He played good the whole game. Hats off to him. We followed that up. He had a whole off season of preparation. We added some pieces, Hyatt, whatever, Waller, the rapping Waller, that's what I'm calling him now, the rapping Waller, and a whole off season of preparation.
Harris Campbell brought back Saquon Barkley, drafted the venerable Eric Gray.
Oh yes, Eric Gray, can't forget him, the Gray man. And everybody was healthy. Week 1 against Dallas, and we scored no points.
Well, that's Graham Gano's fault.
Well, I mean, it is because he's our best offensive weapon other than Saquon.
He got that field goal block. That's all Graham Gano.
I mean, hey, man, it's, once that happened, it was like, it's over. It's over. We can't kick.
It was over. It was done. I mean, but with everything, and I want to talk to you about this defensive coordinator position.
Oh yeah, the spot that we have yet to fill
that we have open. And I'm just gonna sit here and hold my head a little bit here because it gives me a fucking migraine. Okay, we don't want to go with anyone who has any experience because of Brian.
And you will respect my authority.
Dable. We don't.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I have to get into this question, but I just have to.
Uh-oh.
Because
somebody walked in the club. Oh, somebody walked in the club.
What's up, good people?
T-Brad.
What's up, good people?
Welcome.
Oh, he's in the club. Look at the lights. Look at the lights.
Known as the moment with the T-Brad. Giant extraordinaire. What's up, my brother? What you doing?
What's up? Hold on one second. My wife is asking me why I didn't do the dishes. Hey, it was the offensive line's fault. Fucking accountability.
I'm using that.
Accountability? There's no
accountability. What the hell is that? Yeah, okay. I was supposed to do the dishes. The offensive line didn't protect me, and hey, there we go.
It's the
I'm just I woke up very, very like, how did we get here moment?
Ooh.
It's like, how did we get here?
Ooh.
Like, if you look back,
I walked down the stairs.
Yeah, if we get back 365 days from where we are now, we would be a much better team without Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley signed, because we'd be a team without a quarterback, which we still are,
right?
And more money to burn.
And we might be without a running back too.
I mean, God forbid me tell a billionaire how to spend their money, but being rich doesn't make you smart necessarily.
Ooh, that's a gem.
That's a good one. And to your point, it's the dishes' fault that they got dirty.
Exactly.
You know, it's no one else's fault but the dishes.
Exactly. Blame the person who dirtied them, not the person who's supposed to clean them.
Step up and take responsibility for getting themselves dirty.
Hey, I could use a better excuse, which is I actually wasn't here. That's probably the best excuse I have. Go talk to the kids. It was their job.
I like that excuse. But T-Brad, before we get into this, I was just talking to James real quick about this whole defensive coordinator fiasco.
Okay.
That the fact that we can't, Shane comes out early this week and says we will have a defense coordinator by this week. Then our choice potentially goes to Tennessee. And then you have, I think it was Mr. Authentic, someone said that came out and said the reason that he didn't want to come here was because of the fact that he didn't want to have a one-and-done season, but he also has a 5-year relationship with Rand Carthon over in Tennessee, so he's probably going to get more of a leeway with his friend who he's known for the last 5 years, you know, with the Titans. So I take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. But you got all these other guys that are just going different places, and you have all these guys that the Giants are interviewing, but nobody is coming in here and saying anything in reference to wanting to come to New York. Why? This used to be the place you wanted to go. This was the place you wanted to build your chops.
Okay, is that for me, for James? I know it's for both of us. I didn't.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Go with you first, and we're going to James on the same question.
Okay, why people aren't coming here? We're dysfunctional. We're very dysfunctional. Like the Giants are very much like a young lady who used to look good in her prime and now doesn't look good, but still acts like she looks just as good as she was, being rude and no, I don't want to drink and no, just very, very picky when they don't need to be picky. And teams are like, if you're a coach and you see that, okay, other coaches are saying stay away, they haven't been good. Internally, they're having coaching problems. Yeah, I'd love to sign up there for my first opportunity. And if you're a black head coach, if you're a black assistant coach, this could be your only opportunity. I'm not jumping into that. Your only shot at defensive coordinator, and I'm going into a dysfunctional situation. Don't sign me up for that. Don't sign me up for that at all. And I think we've lost the prestige that we used to have. The Giants prestige, like, oh my God, we're going to the Giants. Yes, you know how that's ran. You know the type of professionalism they have, the weight they have, and within 5 years, the Giants are going to win a Super Bowl or be relevant. They're going to be that relevant team that knocks out a Super Bowl contender. But we've been a doormat. But if it wasn't for Washington, whatevers, we'd be minus 2 victories a year. So go back and see how many you have. 6 this year? We're a 4-win team. We had last year was an anomaly. Broken clock is right twice a day. But you go back before then, we were averaging what, 4 or 5 wins? So we're really technically the Detroit Lions and the Jets, because the Washington is the only one that brings us even close to having a kind of okay record. We get 2 wins off of Washington a year, and that's it. Nobody wants to come to this. You want me to be a superhero? No, thank you.
So James, T-Brad has basically summed it up as the Giants are the 45-year-old woman in the club who thinks she's still 23.
Amen.
I love that analogy. He basically just summed it up that way. I know you agree, but
Amen.
you must have a thought as well why nobody seems to want to come here.
Well, despite all the advances in technology, the air still stinks in Jersey. Just want to throw that out. I find it miraculous that we can't find a way to like swirl that air a little bit and do something. So just
when you're near exit 12. Exit 12 to 14 on the turnpike, I'll give you.
But nah, man, that's an eye opener. It's like I'll use another analogy. It's like the same 45-year-old woman that Brother T is talking about. She was in a long-term relationship, right? Let's say for like 10 years. And but then it was like, we could do better than that guy. We're going to dump him and we're going to get all these guys out here want us. You got rid of Eli, the good old steady guy. And so far the grass, like I said to Zach in the chat, the grass is not always greener on the other side, especially when that grass is turf. And we just, think about that. We are the New York Giants. And there's nobody clamoring down our door to try to get this defensive coordinator spot, to even maybe boost themselves up to go to another spot, maybe for a head coaching. Or nobody wants to come here. People want to go to the Jets before coming here. Think about that. In my lifetime, I am 41 years old. I have been watching football 32, 33 years. Where I could say I understood what was going on. 32, 33 years. I have never felt this way, where it's like the Jets seem like the spot people want to go to in New York. Yeah, the quarterback talks too much and he hasn't played all year because he got hurt. But that still feels like the team that people want to go to. And nobody wants to come here. Saquon doesn't even want to stay here. Forget about people coming here. Saquon doesn't even want to stay here. Like I've never seen this in my lifetime where the Giants are. And T-Brad's right. If it wasn't for the Redskins,
in the Giants' defense, Joe Rogan says, "Hey, I've seen a lot of hot 45-year-olds.
I have too. Pam Grier is hot at like 60. We're not Pam Grier.
Pam Grier's like 80.
Guess what? She still looks better than we.
I don't think she aged. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett doesn't age.
Pam Grier's
Angela Bassett. Yeah, she's another one.
So, next, you're going to tell me Eartha Kitt is still not like 100 years old. Original Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for all you who don't know, the original Catwoman was black. Sorry.
Yeah, a lot of people do. So, T-Brad, how do we fix this?
We have to.
I mean, hoping he wasn't going to choke when I asked that question.
No. We have to fire our owner. I don't know how we do that, because I want to personally apologize to Dave Gettleman. It wasn't all your fault.
Wow.
I believe you were looking down the barrel of a gun when Mara said, "You're going to do it this way, or we can fire you." And then after a while, because in the end, Gettleman actually resigned. He was never actually fired.
He said, "I'm getting out of here."
Yeah. And I think the reason he was able to resign, because Gettleman probably came in and said, "Man, everybody's yelling at me, but this is what you told me to do." We've all had jobs and we're like, "Hey, I don't think that's going to work over there. You got to move these boxes over here. It's going to be unsafe." No, you stack them up there anyway. Then the whole stack falls down and you're like, told you about that. Well, we'd like to talk to you about a way you could have done this better. Wait, I told you not to do it in the first place. You know what? I'll just leave because something ain't right. Mara gets all the decision making, but none of the blame. And the reason I look at it and say it's Mara, because when have you ever? And I'm 50, you're 41, and Tim's a man of a certain age. What I'm going to say is, when have you ever heard an owner come out after players played bad so long and said, "We messed them up. We messed them up"?
I've never heard that.
I've never heard that ever. That's how you know. Because one thing about rich people, I know a few, they don't like to admit they're wrong in a business decision. In a business decision, you know what I'm saying? They'll go with that young lady thinking that she loves them to death, even though they're there for the pension, waiting for you to keel over. But in a business decision, they will never admit that they're wrong. They're going to show you that because I have the money and because I made this decision, it's correct. It's wrong. It's wrong. Daniel Jones has the best agent. I wish I could imagine going to a job and they have a set of expectations, not a quota, a set of expectations, and you perform below standard in every single criteria that they have for your expectations, except for one. And that's the one they don't expect you to do that much, which is running. Can you imagine getting like a raise over the other people who are meeting their expectations? Can you imagine getting a bigger raise than some people? Like you got somebody like Saquon Barkley who shows up to work every day and watches Daniel Jones suck every day. And when you go to negotiate your contract, they say, "Hey, we're looking at you right now, but because this guy is in this department, it's really important that we take care of him. But he sucks. I've been keeping it quiet and being a perfect businessman, but not saying he sucks. I've been backing him. Yeah, we'll get your money later, but we got to nail this guy down because he works in a very crucial department." We never looked on what are those things called? Job fair, or what are those different hiring things? We never looked on any of those whatever.com.
Indeed.
Yeah, we didn't look on Indeed.
A monster.
Yeah, we didn't look on any of these daggone things to see about a replacement. And the sad thing when I look about it, we had Geno Smith there. We have not drafted a quarterback since we drafted Daniel Jones. That's how much they have their chips all in the middle of the table for this young man. And it's not personal. I would not be saying this if this man did his job correctly. He is not doing his job correctly. You get a janitor, you walk in and the bathrooms are always shitty and messy. It's about time to find a new sanitation company. It's time to find a new quarterback. You can't blame the offensive line for 6 years. I'm sorry. He's going into a 6. For 5 years of incompetence, one fluke year. So let's give him last year. Let's give him that. 1 out of 4 is 25% success rate. Ooh. Bad at even baseball.
Oh, doing math.
Nah, bad at even baseball. I'm just saying.
I'm still stunned over the fact that you basically just said that Daniel Jones is a shitty bathroom.
I'm not saying he's a shitty bathroom. I'm saying the janitor was shitty in cleaning up the bathroom.
Well, why would the janitor have to go into the bathroom if it wasn't shitty?
Yeah. All in the bag.
Listen, Daniel Jones is not even a bathroom. He's a cubicle.
You're going to get to the dishes.
He's a porta potty.
No, and the dishes was all just a big prop. No, Mr. B's not doing the dishes.
Mr.
B's not doing the dishes. No thanks.
Hey, Davey, I see you over in the waiting room, dear. I'm not gonna be able to get to you today because I'm actually gonna have to check out on time, and I want to make sure I get to T. Brad and James in. So make sure if you're in the room next week, Davey, to come on in. We'll definitely have you in because I want to get to a couple of these questions and I also want to get to James's thought process. But I love it. C. Sanders says, "Wow, truth spoken." Rich people, Chris says, rich people are never take responsibility for making mistakes. Daryl Smith said exactly what Colin Cowherd said. The Giants are busted trying to convince everyone they made the right decision on Daniel Jones rather than actually calling it right. Well, no, Daniel Jones has one primetime win. Steven's going to say 86 sacks in one season. Daniel Jones wasn't sacked 86 times. Just throwing that out there. He was sacked like 30 something. He wasn't sacked 86 times.
Tim, may I address that, please?
Sure.
86 sacks. 86. And look, I don't know who got sacked how many times, but if you go and look at the video of Daniel Jones, I hate to say tape because we don't use tapes, but still you get draft people saying, I go turn on the tape. You're not turning on the tape. You're turning on something different. But that's just my only pet peeve that irks me. But when you talk about 86 sacks, no one's saying that the offensive line does not need to be improved. No one's not saying that. What we're saying is we've all admitted that quarterback is the most important position. And we can look at plays. Look at plays. Don't look at the sacks. Look at the plays where Daniel Jones has time and creates his own sacks because he's looking at one individual. He can't process defenses. He doesn't pick up the blitz. He'll see a blitzer. He won't call Omaha. He won't call any state. He just hikes the ball and says, well, I hope they block him. There's more to it. It's more to those sacks. I mean, there's a video I have to share where there's a young lady and she was breaking down all of Daniel Jones's bad plays. She was breaking them down. It's like, that's his sack. That's not someone else's sack. Whoever said 86 sacks,
the offensive line.
Whoever said 86 sacks, I want you to go back and look at either the first or second interception that was thrown in the first Cowboys game. Just do me a favor and look at that one.
Yep.
Daniel Jones is attempting to go out of bounds. Perfect. No one's stopping him from going out of bounds. But right before he goes out of bounds, he makes the point to throw the ball to the sideline to a player on the Dallas Cowboys. In your fifth year, plays like that cannot happen.
Hey, listen, Witherspoon's still running.
Yeah. Plays like that can't happen. So, the line needs to be better, but the quarterback can make the line better. You see Mahomes run for his life. Mahomes doesn't always come back and 1, 2, 3 throw, 1, 2, 3 throw. He moves around. He slides the pocket and he's looking downfield. If we failed Daniel Jones at anything, I would not say it's the line because you can see in free agency and you can see in the draft that we put a lot of money into trying to improve that. If we failed Daniel Jones in any type of way, meaning the Giants, don't say me because I wouldn't fail him. He wouldn't be here. But yeah, if the Giants have failed him in any type of way, it's not replacing the playmaker who left. And that's why I continue to say we're suffering the curse of Odell Beckham Jr. We replaced Odell Beckham Jr. with Golden Tate and say, hey, Daniel Jones, tear it up. Really?
Now, James, everything that T. Brad is saying about Daniel Jones, I think that's just nitpicking.
Thank you.
He doesn't have pocket awareness. He can't make the he never plays. That's just nitpicking. Come on, man. Quarterback can't do that.
But hold on, the best thing he said, because you can see when he hikes it and the guy's coming, I sure hope somebody gets that guy and blocks him. It's almost like he's thinking that because he doesn't move. He's like, well, Saquon's going to get him or Eric the Gray is going to get him. Oh! God, that was great. That was great, dude. That was great.
I'm sorry. I'm just frustrated.
Nah, man, that was great. I hope somebody gets him.
I think the T-Brad quotes of the day are, I hope somebody blocks him, and Daniel Jones.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
1 out of 5 is actually 20%. Thank you for the math check. I was trying to be nice.
Well, you're trying to be nice here. Giants 34 says last year was a bad year for Jones. It's the stupid fans who are tired of losing just blew over the whatever the run. Big Blue Forever says 57 likes. Let's get to 100 for Tim. That would be nice. Porta Wilson says porta potties at MetLife are better shape than Daniel Jones at this point.
They are. They are.
Use porta potties at MetLife. They are very nice. They are. The porta potties are not nice at Peddler's Village. You can ask my wife because she freaked out in the porta potty. But we're not going to talk about the porta potties. Davey says, T-Brad, if your wife tells you to do the dishes, it's do it because it's you. Don't know. I'm facing hell. No, that wasn't a metaphor or an analogy. The dishes.
Tell that brother he needs to start blaming the offensive line more.
I love that part. I'm going to use that today. My wife says you didn't do something. I'll be like, it's the offensive line's fault. I wanted to do it, but the offensive line didn't.
It was a late snap. It was a late snap, not my fault.
It was a late snap. Daryl says, I've never heard Daniel call out the mic. We've said this before a million times, James. A million times.
Thank you, Daryl.
How many times have we watched games and he just looks like he go? And I blame Pat Shurmur a little bit for this. And people are always like, well, if Shurmur had a second year with Jones, he would be a quarterback. I always think he would be a worse quarterback because Shurmur made Daniel Jones a one-read quarterback because we talked about it before. Shurmur was brilliant. He had a rookie quarterback. He cut the field in half. He gave him two options, and then one of the options was to run, and he told him to throw to a spot. And that works for a period of time until the league figures it out, which they did exponentially in year 2. Where can we go with this mess right now, James? I mean, there's talk that the Giants were drafting a quarterback. They won't draft a quarterback. Dan Jones will be ready, that he might not be ready. Worst case scenario is Jones is not going to be ready. We don't sign Tyrod Taylor, and we have Danny DeVito.
Oh my God! Come on, stop!
That is the actual rationale.
Oh my God!
How do we fix this?
I just want everybody to understand that the Redskins just hired Dan Quinn.
Yep.
Now, Dan Quinn is not Bill Belichick or Mike Tomlin or nothing like that. But Dan Quinn did take a team, but he did take a team to a Super Bowl. And Dan Quinn's defense has been kicking our you-know-what the last couple of years while he's been in Dallas. So he's familiar with the division. Now, big OGR Sports, shout out to you, Swifty, in the chat. He doesn't think the Redskins are going to pass us. I firmly believe that if they draft a quarterback and we don't, you give them a year, they'll be fully past us because Bieniemy is still there. I would like to think he knows something about offense. Dan Quinn will obviously take care of the defense. If they pick the right quarterback and groom him, the right way, then all 3 teams in the division are going to be head and shoulders above us. Like right now, we are the least in the NFC East. We are the least. We don't have a quarterback. Our coach seems to be fighting everybody on his staff. Our owner, as T-Brad says, thinks every decision he makes is the gospel. And like a video that Brother Tim has made, if you look at our personnel on our roster, how many guys do we have that other teams would even want? Like, seriously, who?
10, one of them was Graham Gano.
And you kind of stretch the 10, to be honest, because there's some of those guys in the 10 that teams are like, I don't need that. I don't need that.
I didn't put Dave
I don't need that.
No, that was it.
You stretch that 10. You was like kneading that dough real thin, And I'll be honest, guys. I other than drafting a quarterback and trying to turn this ship around, because it starts with the quarterback. I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, I don't even know what we're gonna do with Saquon, because honestly, to franchise tag him again would just be cruel. And they can do that because it's in the rules. They can double franchise tag him. But think about what message that's going to send to other players in the league. We didn't play our best offensive weapon, and then we franchise tagged him twice and ran him into the ground. Meanwhile, we overpaid for a guy that even our own team, our own players, Kayvon, I'm sure a few others feel that way, are coming out and saying, nah, I don't think we should have paid that guy. I've never seen this. You don't talk about another man's money in sports, right? That's like one of the few golden rules with players, right? So if a guy, contracts, money, right? So if a guy feels that comfortable on Melo's couch to come out and say that just so freely, it's kind of like there must be a lot of guys in the locker room who feel that way. A lot.
The going back in the day, and it's interesting that you bring up about not talking about a player's money. There was one player, I always go back to the NBA, that people actually talked about his money and they stopped, and that was John Koncak. When he was the center over at the Hawks, he got a huge contract after the rookie deal was over, and people like He was making like twice the amount that Michael Jordan was making. And people talked about his contract for years and after years. And we got the big Don gifting out some online Big Blue membership. We got to thank the big Don with the big old salute as always. Those memberships are fun. You get all your videos early, sometimes even a day early. But you're right. You don't talk about another player's money. And that started like going back and even towards the 80s, like I said, with the Concacaf signing. You don't talk about his money. You don't talk about the money. My question is this, and this is a good question by Swing Culture. We talked about this briefly. I'm going to start with T-Brad. Thoughts on Spencer Rattler? I think he is a guy, like I said, I think he's got a nice throwing motion. I think he's got a quick wrist. I think he's got a good arm. I think he's got velocity. You go problems that he had in school, and he had to do the transfer after playing over in Oklahoma. He did win the MVP of the Senior Bowl. He was 4 for 4. He had the nice touchdown in the corner. But the biggest issues that I see for him is his ability to process plays, his ability to have any type of awareness in the pocket, and his football IQ. And that's a lot of people are saying the same things, and it sounds like a guy wearing number 8.
I'm saying it sounds like we already have that problem.
T-Brad, what is your thought on the Rattler?
Well, with all those things you said being true, I'd much rather have the same problems at a cheaper price point. But what I'll say about Spencer Rattler is I watched QB1. Used to be a Netflix show. Used to show all the top quarterbacks. Sam Hartman's on there. That's how I got to like Sam Hartman.
Attack brought that show up earlier today.
Yeah, and he's a complete butthead on the show. He really was. But he's a young kid. What young kid? The world age? Of course, you can be a little arrogant. But he's grown. He's gone through some adversity. He's got the arm. He's got the talent. Now, first round, hell no. Second round, hell no. Third round, hell no. Fourth round, why not? There's no such thing as a fourth round bust. Fourth round, why not? So it's when we get him as compared to, because the Giants are so bad, I'm like, we may need to draft 2. Because I don't think that no, seriously, I don't think that one, Jaden Daniels is going to make it to us.
No, I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to make it. I see a lot of people talking about Joe.
The top 3 quarterbacks will not make it to us. Okay, so if we trade up, then we lose so many pieces. So
I'm not a.
All right, I'm back.
Guy, I keep losing the T, but another guy people keep talking about is Joe Milton. Another guy, I'm not a Joe Milton fan. Joe Milton's been in college since 2018. I mean, people talk about Hendon Hooker being in school too long. This kid's been in school longer than Daniel Jones has been in the league. I think he has talent, but again, to T. Brad's point, if he's there in the 4th round or the 5th round, I wouldn't even take Joe Milton in the 4th round. He's way too inconsistent. He showed his inconsistency at the Pro Bowl. The Senior Bowl. I had problems again. Another guy with his pocket awareness, presence. And like I said, you've been in college longer than Daniel Jones has been in the league. I'm not in a rush to go out and get you.
Not at all. Not at all. We need
Milton's got a big arm though. But
he's got but there's been
but so did Jamarcus Russell.
I love
I was gonna say,
I love the person that brought up Browning Nagel the other day or earlier in the chat. Yeah. Browning Nagel, good release, big arm. Yeah, that worked out well for the Jets. And I think in Atlanta.
Yeah, we don't need to take any more chances on what might be. We need something that we need a player that actually has something there already, and then we just gotta like smooth it out and groom it and refine it. Not somebody that we have to hope they're gonna be something.
Listen, when I got to get out of here because I got a bunch of stuff to do today. But
blame the offensive line if you don't get off in time.
It's
late snap. It was a late snap.
Honey, the new puppy peed on the floor. It's the offensive line's fault. They didn't.
What kind of dog you get?
We got another Bernese Mountain Dog.
Oh man, beautiful dogs. Beautiful dogs.
We picked him up 2 weeks ago today. Do we have? Here we. There we go. There he is.
There he is.
There's Ralphie. Problem with Ralphie is we got Ralphie at 10 pounds. He's probably about 20 now. It's only been about 2 weeks.
Damn.
So he's going to be clocking in at about 125. He's going to be working for the Giants soon on the offensive line. But I don't even want to talk about Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman was like 6 for 26, and he has just looked hard.
I was so disappointed.
Yeah, I was your man looked a little.
My guy. Y'all know that was my guy.
I think he's not the word for Sam Hartman. But T-Brad, I'm going to give you your final thought before we have the bewitching hour and have to get back to work. So what is your final thought on this Sunday stream?
Hopefully everybody's being safe and good stuff like that. I kind of ranted so much about the Giants. I don't think I have enough rant left. And your dog's name is Ralphie. Is that the same Ralphie who beat up Scott Farkas?
That's actually who it is.
Okay, I just want to make sure that was the same Ralphie who beat up Scott Farkas. That lived in legend. That lived as legend.
That lived in legend on Beacon Street or Beaker Street.
Yes. But for the Giants, I just hope I hope people love Harrison and Neighbors, and if New England can just take a wide receiver, or Washington can just say, you know what, we really like Sam Howell. We feel like we can build. I would be so excited for us to get Jay and Daniel. I know y'all don't like Drake May, but I'll take Drake May too. I like Drake May.
I would take Drake May over Daniel Jones.
But exactly, and at a cheaper price point. The toughest part about this is I don't think we should trade up because we need too much. And if we sit there and no quarterback is there, my pick is Neighbors or trade back.
Here's my one quick question though for you. If you don't take a quarterback this year, who are you taking in 2025 or 2026? 2025 is looking like a real weak class.
It is. Only thing you got is Shedeur Sanders. And then again, how can you I never believe in getting the quarterback next year if you have a chance to get the quarterback this year, because you don't know where you're going to end up. If you get a quarterback this year and he sucks, you know what you do? Exactly what Arizona did. Draft a quarterback the very next year.
Get rid of your mistake early on in the contract.
Yep.
And draft another quarterback.
And this is what cracks me up about the Giants. Even though we traded with the Bears and all that, wouldn't we be in a much more powerful position? A much more powerful position if we would have just drafted Justin Fields ourselves.
Why
are you gonna go there, man? Because in that damn draft stream, I kept saying, if I'm the Giants, I'm taking Justin Fields. Why'd you have to go there, man? Why'd you have to go there?
I mean, hindsight's 2020.
He was sitting right there.
Hindsight's 2020, and this is the thing: you didn't have a proven product. If you get Fields, and Fields is good, and Jones is good, the best case scenario, the worst case scenario is you got Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers, and you got to make a choice of who to keep. I win, but I secured my franchise quarterback.
You secured your team's future.
I don't get it, but good talking to y'all, brothers. Thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, T-Brad, you're always welcome. Thank you. Have yourself a nice, safe weekend. Tell the wife we said hello. Hope to see you guys soon.
Yes, sir.
And
maybe later on we'll get out to the spot, man.
Oh, definitely. Actually, we're thinking of heading to Peddler's Village today with the dog. Get up and walk.
Nah, my wife planned some things today.
No. I wasn't gonna.
And it's supposed to be a beautiful day too.
It's supposed to be a nice day, so we're trying to see if we're gonna head down, try to do that today, because we're trying to get the dog acclimated to people. But you tell your wife we said hello. I'm gonna drop you off as we talk to the last.
Peace out, brother.
Peace, brother.
The last of the Mohicans. Grizzly Adams himself, the Black Grizzly Adams.
That's right. I tell our brother Tim all the time that this man is working hard out here. This man is working hard out here for us, man. We hit that like button, support this man, because I'm telling you right now, he's like the only guy out here. Maybe there's one other, but that's just telling us what it is and what to look for. When has Tim really been off his rocker? Like, when has he just said something that was total just crap? Total crap.
Wait for it. Malik Willis.
Yes, but you know what? No. But he did get drafted. If he didn't get drafted at all, then I would say that. But again, if that guy got drafted and he's still in the league, it's not like he's out the league already. So maybe some other team will take a chance on him, and then he'll actually get a chance to play with a coach who actually likes him and a team that actually wants to teach him, and then we could see what he could be. But I think we know by now in Tennessee, the franchise is not behind him. So how do we know what he's going to, So our brother Tim, he's working hard for us. I love him. You love him. We all love him. We appreciate him. But the only thing I got to say is, I'm telling y'all right now, Redskins draft Jaden Daniels, and then we sitting up there trotting out Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito. Y'all gonna have to start really questioning your team, because I'm already questioning it just as far as how we handle things going forward, our outlook. What is the Giants? What did we used to stand for? Hard nose, blue collar, do things the right way, not arrogant, Dable. And all those things have gone out the window. What do we stand for? What is our brand? What do we stand for? I don't even know. I have no clue. And I just, man. Oh, Kellen Moore is on the Eagles, by the way, as their OC, right? So that guy, he's familiar with the division. Dan Quinn is on the Redskins. He's familiar with the division.
Yeah, saw that.
So, and we still don't have a defensive coordinator.
You know what my fear is? Besides Spiders, Wink going to Dallas.
Oh, I can see that. I thought he was going to go to Philly, honestly.
Can you imagine the pass rush that Dallas has, and then you
with Wink?
Then you put Wink in charge of that. Good.
And God forbid we're still trotting out Daniel Jones. He's gonna go to Micah and go, hey, have the ball.
Daniel Jones may go to Dallas and not come out of the porta potty when he sees what Wink would do.
Like are y'all seeing what's going on around us? We were already one of the worst two teams in our division. I'm sorry, but the Redskins getting Dan Quinn, if Bieniemy can turn that offensive around, if they actually get a quarterback and have a good draft, they're going to be above us. So where are we going? If we don't get a quarterback, if Brian Daboll doesn't change his philosophy on just, I have to be right all the time, where are we going? A year ago, we were, oh man, we got coach of the year, want to play, like T-Bad said, coach of the year, playoff game. Oh man, we're looking good. And in just 12, 13 months, it's like.
To Max's Customs pick says, Chargers and Dallas think Kellen Moore is trash. Dak Prescott's best seasons
were with Kellen Moore.
Came with Kellen Moore. And if we're going by that logic, then how does Mike Kafka even still have a fucking job?
And no offense, but that coach on the Chargers, I mean, you talk about just getting over on your looks. The head coach on the Chargers was garbage. Didn't he get fired? Finally.
Didn't some guy named Harbaugh come in to take that job?
So it's like, yeah, people, you can say what you want about the offense, but the head coach in San Diego was the problem.
Yeah.
If the head coach is calling stupid timeouts and going for it on fourth down and doing stupid things, it doesn't matter what I'm calling as the OC. I can't win.
Time management and what he's doing on fourth down. Now, James, I got to get out of here because I really do got to leave. So I really appreciate everyone tuning in, tuning out. This is Tim, Mr. Giants Straight Time. Hi, everybody on Like Big Blue LLC. I want to welcome everyone from hanging in and hanging out. Welcome James, T-Brad, and the Zach Attack for stopping by. See you guys on Monday.